Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Foodcaster. I'm Michael, and we have Sam Eats Plants.
Hi.
You're watching Foodcaster, everything about having a relationship with food. So we're going to talk about some food topics and some things a little bit outside of that today. So, where we're at, we talked about health and wellness so many different times, so many different angles.
Yeah.
Skincare.
Ooh, I like this.
You know, because, you see right here? No, look.
Child, what happened?
So, see? I was itching, and I was like, let me put some alcohol on it.
Uh-huh.
And maybe the proof was too high because it just burnt up.
Yeah.
That never happened to me before.
Yeah, no. Why'd you put alcohol? Oh, as a disinfectant.
Yeah.
Don't do that on your face.
Oh, really?
Your face is too sensitive. This skin is too sensitive. You do it on other places of your body.
What?
Yeah.
I'm just so used to doing that.
You know.
With shaving and stuff, alcohol, call it a day. But no.
No, this is far too sensitive. I would have done calendula or aloe.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I had to deal with it. But hey, every incident is like a learning experience. So
what does aloe do? I know what that is. Once you start clicking back, I don't know. Yeah.
Aloe heals. Aloe heals things very well internally too. So let's say you even went through like a surgery. Mm-hmm. One of the recommendations I would tell people is to blend aloe. Mm-hmm. If you're real about it, you take a shot of it. Disgusting. So bitter.
Sounds like it.
It's so bitter. I hear from a really, really good like tropical aloe plant, it tastes like nothing. But anything you can get up north, it's bitter. But you would take it internally, and the elements of it help your body heal. You can become a modern day Wolverine. Not so much, but something like that. But topically, it'll also really work as well.
Okay.
That's what aloe does.
Okay.
And aloe is also really good for your skin.
Which one?
Aloe.
Oh.
It's also very, very good for your skin.
I see people put that on. Do you just leave it on? Or do you wash it?
I did.
Okay.
Back in the day. I haven't used aloe in a while. Been busy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I used to.
Why is that so devilish? I've been busy.
I'm like, I can't get to a market that actually sells aloe these days.
Okay.
You wash your face, whichever way you wash it, and then you literally like take a cube, skin it off with like the gel in and wipe it all over and go about your day.
Okay.
It feels super weird. Eventually goes away.
Okay.
Like, after like maybe 15, 20 minutes, your skin looks amazing.
Okay. Oh. Now there's a couple food conventions coming up.
Uh-huh.
There's actually a lot.
Okay.
Now that things are
opening up to the world.
That's the phrase. Opening up to the world, back in the swing of things. What are you most interested in with food and the trends, or knowledge that's out there?
I really like that people are beginning to look at plant-based eating not as something that you're in it or you're not, but something to incorporate in your life. An example. Somebody that I know made a comment about like, oh yeah, I'm trying to eat like less dairy. I'm not really eating dairy anymore.
Right.
And I'm like, dope, you know? And I think I might have seen him do something with dairy, but my point is a lot of people have all or nothing mentalities. And overall, I actually think it's a detrimental mindset to have when it comes to your own body health. I think being all or nothing when it comes to like outward building things, I think that's kind of cool because like some people like, that's it, this is all, I can't stop this, it's gonna happen. But when it comes to yourself, so many things keep changing, factors happen, and we must bend to those things. So lately I've been finding a lot of people who are just like down to go to a vegan restaurant, but they're not, down to eat vegan at home, but they're not. And that's what I like. And I wouldn't even call that a trend. I think that's an untrend. And I think that's why I like it, because I don't like trends.
I noticed that within the news, there is more talk and about going plant-based. It is growing. And surprising enough, hey, if you have fill in the blank, you should try, I give it diabetes, certain cancers. They're actually telling people now to, if not completely, but for temporarily, have a plant-based diet. That is huge.
That's really big.
I mean, the fact that this knowledge has been out there for a very long time, but to start creeping into news outlets.
Yeah, into the worldwide media or nationwide media. That is very odd. I didn't even know because I kind of like...
You cut off from the area.
I'm like, what is the news? What's going on? But I think that's great. And I think maybe sometimes you can't stop a motion. You can't stop a movement. Something's happening. I've said for years, our healthcare system is laid out in such a way that by default, even if you don't want to, even if you're not into it, even if you don't believe it, you'll go towards more natural eating, more plant-based eating because you get sick and you can't afford to do things. Or you can't afford the medicine. Or you don't have time for this, you don't have time for that. And I think it's a natural place for a lot of Americans to fall because changing your eating habits is far more affordable than the healthcare system if you have a chronic illness. So I wonder if this is playing any part of why they're beginning to mention it. I will say, big companies that are known for selling animal agriculture, meat, and dairy have shifted. There's a dairy company out of New York, relatively big, that completely changed their whole operations. Everything is plant-based now.
Wow.
And the CEO was like, just follow money. Like, that's just really what it is. He's like, let me get ahead of it. And they changed some years ago. So that was the first dairy company, or only one, that went completely plant-based.
Wow.
Then other ones that are known for dairy, like there's a big yogurt company that people like. They sell a Greek type style of yogurt. Now they're making oat milk. And clearly they understand there's something there.
The big soft drink companies, interested you mentioned that they all went into water.
Yeah, that's right.
And bought up these water. And it's still a little conflicted because you've been giving people poison for all these years. You know what it does.
Yeah.
But again, trying to get ahead of the curve. And it's one of those, yay, but yay.
Yeah, that's exactly
the bigger picture, right?
That's exactly how I feel. Because, great, if you're producing it and you're manufacturing it, that means more people have access to it.
Right.
But
I'm supporting you still. Right.
And at the end of the day, it's their bottom dollar. They want to increase their revenues / profits every quarter, and they're looking to do it. And if this is the way they're doing it, then they're doing it that way. That being said, with what you just told me about, you see in the media a little here and a little there, this might be good for you, this might be good for you. It's because now the big corporations are beginning to do it.
Right.
And so now they want the media to talk about it versus when it was more cheesy heavy and junk food heavy. You know, there is a switch. And even when we think about the big fast food companies that have like a vegan chicken sandwich or a vegan burger that's happening now. Cool. So you have an option for people who already go to fast food.
But not necessarily healthy. It's still processed.
It's still processed. Yeah. It's different. I'm not going to say it's worse or better. It's different. There's some things that are worse and some things that are better.
Right. Well, one good thing, if those are doing certain or taking out certain foods because of religious reasons, it's easier.
Yeah.
I want the bacon, but I don't want the swine. So and that way it helps a certain demographic, which is great to maybe eat at an establishment. But again, when you go to just the proteins, the minerals, the other aspect of it, what are you using a lot of gum? Are you using a lot of...
There's probably a lot of those gums and like polysorbate 60 and probably dyes. Like all of that is still there.
Right.
And then there's other things that end up being beneficial. That's less demand on animal agriculture, which is the number one environmental degrader. Also, it's cholesterol free. So there's that. but they're looking to stay viable as a company.
Right.
I mean, and we just have to really
consciousness
understand that.
There's a shift.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh, this is better. They're like, give the people what they want. We'll make more money. Overall, what the people need to understand is, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your body to feel like?
Mm-hmm.
Look at what you need to do to feel and look those ways and do those.
Right.
And the vast majority of the time, it doesn't involve going to any fast food and getting anything plant-based at a fast food restaurant.
Right.
Most of the time.
Right. That's interesting. So definitely going on this journey and starting the show, and it's been some time now. I was definitely big on, oh well, I gotta, here's the fake burger, and here's the fake this, and here's the. I'm kind of over it. I don't even,
it's fun at
but
first.
it's a good transition.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a great transition.
Yeah,
and it's better most of the time. The things you bring in your home. Even though it's processed, it's still better most of the time than having the animal version of it. But like what it does right away is like drop your cholesterol. And then also, even if it's processed, your sodium levels go down tremendously because there's so much sodium in animal product. So there's these certain benefits that happen right away that are huge issues in America anyway. High cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer.
Every other commercial.
Yes.
I don't really watch that much television with commercials. What I do, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
I forgot how many pills are on the market. I forgot how many things are out there. And just when they, and this causes, and you might lose all your toes and your eyesight, but it's great. And you're like, whoa.
I just changed my world from being in this like very, very vegan, plant-based world to more like regular people. No offense. And certain things are hitting me because I think people who put themselves in vegan worlds, and I'm not saying they're vegan,
but I
think the type of people that will put themselves in those worlds tend to be about certain things also. Like maybe they care about the environment, maybe they meditate, they're more spiritual, what have you.
Right.
The conversations are a bit different. And so now what I'm noticing, it's like my lifestyle, I'm being faced with how different, radical my lifestyle is. And I haven't had to face it in years because I really did build a world for myself so that all this could be normal. And I did.
Right.
And now I've stepped away from that world. I mean, it isn't my home, but my world looks a little bit different. And just like how many people like smoking cigarettes, I'm like, oh gosh, people still do
that.
People still do this. And even just drinking like a diet soda. I mean,
I haven't. Wow.
Like I'm hardly around people who drink soda.
I can't remember the last time I've ever tasted a diet. It had to have been year, and I literally just tasted it. I think I bought it by accident or something, but it was so long ago.
Disgusting.
I don't even know how people.
I never even liked it in the first place. I don't know how people get into it.
And it's worse for you.
It's worse for you. So I saw someone drinking one. I said, really? And she was like, oh, but it's diet. I said, yeah, that's why I'm saying really, even more than if it wasn't.
Right.
She goes, oh, I don't like to drink my calories. But I do like sweet. I'm like, and she goes, I know it doesn't make any sense. And I'm standing there and I realized I haven't had this type of conversation with somebody in like a decade.
Wow.
Like, because I had really changed my whole world and who I was around and the activities I did, and what type of people did those activities. And now I'm more in like, what do you think? What did they call it in 1984? The proles. I'm just like more in like the common population. And it's like hitting me like, oh yeah, people have really bad eating habits. I forgot how bad they are. And these are regular people, not overweight, no issues, kind of young.
Right. But those issues, they come in the future. Now it's not the time. Now is the woohoo.
And so even me saying to this person, like, this is like cancer in a can.
Right.
And her reaction being like, what? So I started to believe that people understood that. It's not
common knowledge. So many things aren't. It's again, who you're around.
Yes.
And the world that you created for yourself. That's interesting.
Yes.
So before we go, let's see. Where are we at on time here? Oh, we're good.
I was
We're
about to say,
good. Yeah, we're
sure.
good. Skincare.
Yeah.
It's interesting because so many things over the years were tested on animals and still are tested on animals. From your knowledge, where are we with skincare? Because now it's very popular to say, we don't test on animals. It's all natural till you read the ingredients. But
Yeah. Well, the beauty market's not regulated like the food market is.
okay.
So natural is already a funny word in the food industry.
Mm-hmm.
Natural means nothing in the cosmetic
Okay.
industry. So they can use whatever they want to use. They can put whatever words they want to put on. Where are we? So if we talk about the food portion of it,
Mm-hmm.
and if people really are concerned about skincare, the easiest, cheapest thing and most effective thing to do is drink tons of water.
Yeah.
Tons of water. You do that, a lot of the skin issues for a lot of people start to subside and mitigate. Promise. And when I say a lot, a day probably shouldn't pass without at least 1 liter of water. I would say maybe up to 64 ounces, maybe 80 ounces, maybe 100.
That's my week.
Gallon.
That's really bad. That's how much.
No, we need it so badly. But everyone's body is also different, and everyone's height and weight is different. So the bigger you are, the more water you want to consume.
Right.
And this is why we need to consume water. We're talking about skincare.
Right.
It's for everything. The world is like 75, 85% water. So is our bodies. Like, as above, so below, right? So is our bodies. Our bodies do metabolic functions in the presence of H2O. We eat carbohydrates so we can hydrate our cells. That's what carbs do. So if you're not taking in the water, your cells are dehydrated. The metabolic functions don't function as great. What that also looks like on the outside is dry skin with crevices, cracks, more wrinkles, because it's literally dehydrated. You could change the appearance of that stuff just by drinking more water. Because sometimes it's just you need more water. Forget all the lotions. And yes, the lotions will moisturize. But that's something that if you miss a couple of days, it's done. If you drink water all the time, you can miss a couple of days. Your body already
You're good to go.
You're good for some real days.
Is there anything that we could eat to speed up the healing process? So for instance, say your skin is basically renewed. 7 years?
Every 7 years, every single cell in your body is different.
Okay.
Yes, but it's like renewing like every second of the day, you know. But like you're a whole different person from 7 years ago. No cell in your body is the same.
So if you're drinking a bunch of alcohol, you're slowing all this down or corrupting the...
When you're drinking a bunch of alcohol, you're giving yourself doses of low-grade poison. So the issue with that in terms of long-term is if you're drinking it more than your body can actually release, because our bodies are made to release toxins.
Right.
But if you're giving yourself too much and your body's not releasing it in time, then it starts poisoning other areas of your body. It poisons your liver, your heart, your circulatory system, affects your brain. You know, everything affects everything in some way, shape, or form. So when it comes to skin, drinking alcohol will lead to dehydration. So alcohol dehydrates you. We know this is because we can pour water on a table and alcohol on the table and see which one goes away first.
Right.
Like
or even just
on your skin. Boom.
Shaving, boom, it's like all dry and...
It's gone.
Yeah.
So you drink more alcohol, you're going to dehydrate yourself. I mean, not to shame people, but, you know, living in New York City, you see a lot of people who might be houseless out there, and some people might be on substances. And when I say the word substances, I include alcohol. Look at their skin. And just look at, you know? And there's a look, even people who have like recovered from it, there's a look they have because of years of doing dehydrating things. It has more little spots. It feels more leathery, like everything, all of it, everything is everything. Everything you do will have an effect. And if you're consistent with it, you'll see those results, whether it's positive or negative. And so even with skincare, like or healing, when you talk about foods that will heal or are great for your skin, is anything that's really high in water, fruits and vegetables. The best. Then maybe roots, like sweet potato.
Now, can you get away with eating fruits and not drinking as much water?
Yes. In America, yes. Let's say we all were living super naturally on like the mountains of Okinawa. No.
Why not?
Water is superior. Drinking actual water is superior than just getting your H2O from eating fruit. I don't know the reason why, but it is. But let's say we're just here eating our modern packaged food life, and you decide, I'm just going to hydrate myself through fruits. You're already doing better than what you were doing anyway. So it's not a negative. It's still a positive. It's still a positive. But most fruits and vegetables are over 90% water. If you understand that, you understand how important it is to get that.
Watermelon, cucumber.
Watermelon's like 95% water. Cucumber is high like that too. It's like 94%. I mean, hydrating, but it's not even just hydrating. The elements of what's within, specifically cucumber, I'm talking about anti-aging. I'm talking about like...
Don't put it on your eyes, folks. Actually eat it.
Yes, exactly. Because as above, so below.
Right.
Like, you can do things topically and it'll be effective. You do them internally, you're literally changing your body's chemistry.
Have you noticed over the last couple of years there's been a push in mango?
I didn't notice.
I mean, it's a lot more mango usage. And I see it almost in everything.
I have met like 1 or 2 people who had never tried a mango and they were grown. And I'm like, how?
How's that possible?
How? And then it got me thinking.
Well, also being Caribbean, I think.
I know.
It's like, what?
I try to do that. I'm like, okay, New Yorker, Caribbean background, maybe this is just my normal.
Right.
And so I wonder, I'm like, well, what do people in the middle of the country do? Do they really never have mango? Is mango something that they get when they go to like a Thai restaurant? Like, I don't know how.
I think fruit cups, and that's why I think it's such a treat because all those other things that throw in a piece of mango. Yeah. It's like, oh wow, and then we're like, that's not that good. I'd rather actually have an actual.
That might be it because I've always lived along an ocean line, from Florida down to New York to down to Florida, and so it's very normal that people eat mangoes here and there or a lot.
Right.
So to find people who are like well over 35, they're like, I've never had a mango before.
Also for hydration, I noticed a big growth in coconut. Coconut usage has definitely like doubled, tripled.
Probably. I don't follow these trends the same way that I used to, but man, you're talking about hydration, yes. Coconuts are superior to water. Coconut water is superior to water.
Now, why is that?
The chemistry of what's inside coconut water. I'm not sure exactly why it hydrates better, but it's so effective in the human body. I think I might have said this to you once. In the Korean War, it was used as like a holding space for blood transfusions before the blood got in. And they were able to like, I don't know the medical term, not centrifuge, because that's this. That's to kind of use it as like within an IV until they have blood.
Oh, really?
Wait, listen.
Don't try it.
No, don't try that. First of all, that's for medical professionals who know what they're doing. But if I can emphasize to the general public how great coconut everything is to the human body. I can't emphasize it enough. I'm talking about like it nurtures everything for us. Include coconuts. Especially the water.
Sure.
Raw if you can. And not in those pasteurized packages. I know that's how people mostly get it, and that's fine. That's better than soda. But from a coconut.
There's one, well, I'm not going to push any particular brand, but there's one. There's one brand that tastes really good versus the others.
Yeah?
Yeah. But the packaging is mostly white.
I know.
You know which one I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And the water almost looks purplish, right? Or bluish?
It's pinkish.
Okay.
I followed that company, and initially when they started, they were excellent. And all the different waters looked a little different. Okay. Now they all look pink. And I think what happened is it used to be raw, unpasteurized, and the USDA decided that it's not healthy for the general public to have the raw coconut water. It has to be pasteurized because of like bacteria. And it's like, miss me with what's not healthy for the general public, USDA. Right. So they started to have to use pressurized system to preserve their coconut water. It's called like a hexane. It's some method of using pressure to preserve. In whatever they changed, now every single bottle looks exactly the same. Mm-hmm. So it's not truly raw, because if you open a coconut, you get every coconut almost looks different inside. Like the water's going to have variance. Sometimes
more cloudy, sometimes more clear. It really depends, right?
Exactly. And now they all look clear and pink. I'm like, oh, I don't know what they're doing now. But it's tasty.
Yeah.
It's tasty. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I see so many people, skincare is definitely on the rise. Social media, there's always a couple of 12-year-olds. College students telling you, this is what I do with my face. This is what I do with my face. Like, all right. But past all that gook, you got to take care of it.
You have to.
You got to.
I cannot even stress enough. I just was having a conversation with somebody who wants to, like, not age. And I'm like, I mean, there's a bunch of things I can tell you can put on your skin, but if you really want some lasting effects, you got to change it inside out. You change it inside out, it goes way further. Way further than just like putting all the things on. But put all the things on. I mean, they help.
Right.
They help if you're cool with that. If you're cool with like acids on your face. I mean, it's low grade acids. If you're cool with that, put it on. You want to put your sunblock on every day, put that on. Sure, that will do it too. But man, the change really comes with eating lots of fruits and vegetables and water.
Give everybody your social media.
You can find me at SamEatsPlants_ on Instagram. And I'll give you tidbits of how you can incorporate things in your life.
Do you really agree? Let me see if you're really on into it.
I am.
And Michael on Instagram. That is the number. And you could always go to foodcaster_ for us, or go to geekcaster.com. Check out all the other shows that we've done. If you're watching us on cable, thank you. Alrighty. So that's skincare, and I'm sure we'll talk about that again and go even further. But thank you for joining us, and we will continue having a relationship with food.